Hey there guys, how's it going? So recently I had a video called the Nintendo Switch's Unique Opportunity. There's a card popping up in the corner if you haven't seen it. And in the video I talked about how I went on a family road trip and I was able to play Zelda the whole time because of an awesome Aukey brand battery that I received, and this is that very battery right here, so I want to tell you about it. This is my first product review of this nature, and Aukey did send me this battery in order to review, but I will just say up front that I was not paid for this review. My only compensation was this very unit right here in exchange for my honest opinion in a review. So first I'm going to talk about some specifications and then we're going to get into performance. Now most people I see with batteries have these little like thumb drive ones, like these little kind of stick ones that are okay for like charging your phone like once or twice or something. This one is a lot more meaty. This is a 30,000 milliamp power bank. I don't know too much about all of this, but I can tell that this is bigger than your average one. It's decently hefty, at least compared to those other ones, but I think that's awesome. The reasons why I'll get into later. So we got a lot of options here, and that's a very, very cool thing. Lots of ports. You can charge like 3 things at once. It uses micro USB in order to charge the unit, or USB-C in to charge it. That USB-C can also go out, and then these 2 regular USBs can go out. So basically, hook anything and everything you want up to this thing, and it will charge it. This device does support quick charge, although I was not able to test that, for I have no quick charge devices, but hey, it says right there on the box, quick charge. And so if you want to know more about that, you can probably look up more of the specifications online. And one very small downside to this is that it does not support pass-through charging. You can't plug this into the wall and then plug another thing into it, but really that doesn't matter at all, and that's never really been much of a problem for me. I mean, you'd have to drain this thing really, really on purpose in order to make that a problem, or like you only have one outlet. Like, how does that make sense? So basically, that was not a problem for me. The contents of this charger's box were quite simple. It came with the power bank itself, and the only other piece of hardware at all was this little this USB-C cable. It's a very short one, which I think is really, really awesome because it's actually perfect for just like plugging right into the wall for, you know, if you have a little USB adapter like this. It didn't come with one, but that really doesn't matter because I think most of us by now have about 1 million of them lying around. They're like $1. And so it's perfect for plugging into the wall, and then just it's just enough length for this to kind of hang below the outlet and for it to just like rest on the floor and not have a lot of cords around, a lot of tripping hazard going on. So it keeps it very simple. And of course, if you don't want to use this little guy, you want a longer one, most of us have these hanging around. Micro USB cable, which I said is also supported on this. So there's a myriad of ways to charge this thing. And otherwise in the box, we have the instruction booklet. The instructions are quite simple. There's not a whole lot to say. And this little warranty card, which looks like a little keyhole, which is pretty cool. But really the cool thing is that it comes with a 24-month warranty. And I thought that was pretty darn neat. I mean, that is 2 years of support for this thing right here. Not that I think I'll need it. The peace of mind for any product going for 2 years, that's I don't know, it definitely feels good. Some stuff you never really know, or it's like 30 days or like 1 year or something. 2, I am very comfortable with that. So back to the unit itself, it is very simple. It's just got this one little power button here, and it's pretty cool. You plug something into it and you hit the power button to get it charging. And you get a nice little indicator light when you do. And the cool thing is that light will shut off after like 15 seconds or something, so it doesn't unnecessarily drain the battery as it's charging, just so it can show you a little bit of light. So it's a very small feature, but I thought it was pretty cool. And also, when there's nothing plugged into it, you can hit the light right there, and it will display, it's kind of hard to see with the lighting in my room, but when you hit it, it will flash a color, and this shows you how much battery is left. And it's cool because most of the stuff I've had is like, you know, it's either charged or it needs charging, but this one has got 3. This one will be white when it is between, let's see, I read in the instruction booklet, I think it was 70% to 100% charged, green when it's 30% to 70% charged, and then red when it's 0% to 30%. So you always know where you're at, so you're never going to be caught off guard. Even when it hits red, you know you got 30% to go. And seeing as how it is such a large power bank, you know that even at 30%, you still have a good amount of time to charge something, probably 1 or 2 more times, and get this thing to a wall outlet to charge up. Which leads me to the most important thing, performance. This thing is insane. I'm not kidding. This thing is crazy. Just like my very first test, like I got this like right before I went on my trip, and I charged it all the way, you know, when I first got it, and then just to test it, I exclusively charged my Switch from it. You know, I didn't use the dock or anything like that. I kept it in handheld mode, and I plugged it right into this thing with the USB-C cable. And, like, I lost track. I wish I had written it down, but I lost track of how many times I charged it. Basically, I charged it several times from this thing, then went on the trip, and then was like, you know what? I want to keep this run going. So I didn't charge this when I went on the trip, and I was still able to play for hours in the car. And then when I got there, I was still able to get multiple charges out of it. So all in all, I can't give you an exact number, but man, it was at least 3 or 4 times, plus a couple hours in the car, plus a few more times there. Basically forever. I mean, like, unless you are going somewhere that has no power outlets ever, you're literally going to be somewhere without power for just days and days, and you are just going to be playing your Switch so much. Okay, yeah, you might be out of luck then, but if you're going anywhere with a charger at all, even if you only get limited access to it, you're gonna be okay, because this thing can power your Switch for a super duper long time. I mean, it was awesome. Not having to worry about it, like, at any time, just kind of popping it out of my backpack and just plugging it into the Switch. And one problem with the Switch, I think this is a problem with the Switch and not the unit, is that when I do plug my Switch into it, the Switch drains a little bit faster than it charges. But I think that's the Switch, because I feel like I've also done that while it was plugged into, like, the car outlet, like, without the battery, and it did the same thing. So that's either the Switch in general or just mine. I haven't looked into it too much, but I don't think that's a thing with the battery. But it still drains slowly enough that all I had to do was make sure it had, like, 20% on the Switch. So then it would, like, drain down slowly enough and then, like, turn it off and give it a little more charge time. So basically, it's amazing. If anyone could come up with, like, one real downside to this thing, if they wanted to, it would just be the size. I know, like I said, most people I see have these little tiny, like, thumb-sized ones, just like the ones for your phone. And, like, yeah, this one is big enough that it wouldn't really fit, like in my case for my Switch, you know, a smaller one would be able to, like, fit next to the controllers or whatever, I guess. But this is not an issue at all for me, because, like, if I'm taking my Switch out for just a couple hours and I'm probably not even gonna charge it, I just bring the Switch in its case. But if I'm going anywhere for an extended period of time, I'm bringing my Switch in its case, like, in a bag anyway. You know, I'm gonna put it in my backpack or something like that. And in that case, it's the easiest thing in the world to just put this in there too, you know? Like, anywhere I'm going, I know I'm going to be able to have this. It's really not, it's bigger than those little ones, but it's really not that big at all. I mean, like, you can see these cords in the box, like this little wall pluggy thing there. So, like, it's smaller than the Switch itself. Plus, if you're going somewhere and you know that this is going to be your main way of charging your Switch, then you don't even need to bring this guy along. And in your case, for your Switch, you can just have this. So in lieu of you know, usually long-ish micro USB cable or whatever, or USB-C cable, what have you, and one of these, you really just need this little guy right there. Like, you just have your Switch in your case with this and this in your backpack. So really, this is an amazing battery. Like, it's pretty simple. There's not a lot to say. It just holds a lot. Seems pretty durable and nice. I don't really know how else to test hardware in that way, but, like, they didn't have this stuff when I was a kid, man. I'm still amazed by this. I know it's funny. I'm showing my age here, but just it was just like, you back with the Game Boy, it was like, oh, hope you have batteries, and if you don't, that's it. And then, like, you know, more recently with the DS and the 3DS, you're like, okay, maybe a car charger or something like that, but you'd have to try to find a place to plug it into the wall. But this is so freeing, which is great because the Switch is, like, the best handheld ever, but it's kind of a little power horse. It just drains a lot of battery. I mean, you know, playing Zelda, you can only get 2 hours out of it, maybe. But with this really enables you to bring the Switch anywhere and play it basically as long as you want. Like, this lets you play it forever. This has allowed me to play it forever, and that is a very awesome and freeing thing. It makes my Switch so much more, I don't know, so much more portable, so much more usable. So that's really it. I don't really have, like, a number system for reviewing hardware. I don't know if I should. Okay, let's use the same one. 7 out of 7, right there. I'll use the same system I use for my games. And oh, the icing on the cake. The real reason this is perfect is right here. Watch this. Yeah, that just happened. Yeah. Can you get a close up on that? Yeah. flashlight. There you go. So thanks for watching, and if you find yourself interested in this little beauty, check down in the description of this video, and I'm going to be putting some links to some promotions brought to you by Aukey themselves. So head on down there and check out whatever deal. I don't know what they'll be yet, but I'm posting them down there. Whatever awesome deals that they are, go check them out. Get this battery. It's super duper awesome. See you later.